Okay, hello, welcome. I'm here with Markus, and today we're going to show off the Unica Pro. We're also going to hear a bit about Markus, Unica, and it's going to be a fun video. I think this is such a unique machine and company, and the people who are working on this machine are quite incredible, and it's something that I want to show off, and I would love for you guys to join us and hear about the story of Unica. So without further ado, do you want to introduce yourself and who you are?
Yeah, thank you, Brian. Thank you for coming. My name is Markus Jeziorski. I'm one of four co-founders of Unica Coffee and responsible for business development, marketing, and all sales aspects of this company.
Well, let's hear a little bit more about Unica and who you guys are.
So yeah, Unica Coffee is a Swiss-based company in Kriens, in the beautiful canton of Lucerne. We are a privately owned company which aims to develop and manufacture innovative, sustainable, and high-quality products for the coffee beverage industry.
So let's talk a bit about the Unica Pro, because I think this machine is just incredibly innovative. There are a lot of features that we see from actually a variety of machines just like incorporated into one single package. And I think this is something that I really want to show off, because this is what's exciting to me is when companies are really pushing the barrier and they're pushing boundaries and they're putting these things that we love in a single machine.
So yeah, that's the Unica Pro, our first product which we launched last year. It, as you can see, it is a single group espresso machine which features our own developed dynamic flow displacement pump and novel on-demand heating concept and a 0.5 liter stainless steel steam boiler.
This is just an incredibly unique machine because I think it's one of the first few, if not the only machine that incorporates like on-demand instant heating as well as a steam boiler in a single package.
Correct.
Yeah, like that right there is something that I think like I'm just like, finally somebody did that, where we're able to tap into a lot of these really amazing like instant heating and fast heat up time, super low thermal mass, but also quality of life of steaming milk drinks with an actual dedicated steam boiler. So let's actually set up the machine. So how long does this take to actually heat up?
If you turn the machine on, after 4 seconds you have the hot water ready. Within 90 seconds you will have the brewing group ready, and 120 seconds the steam boiler.
Wow, that was like the one thing that really impressed me is, so, you know, Markus brought the machine over, he set it up, we poured water into it, you know, we set it up and we turned it on, and it's like 2 minutes, 3 minutes, and it's just ready to go. And I was like, this is like magic, like what's going on here? And it's just incredible because like we're now really pushing the barrier of like how fast can you heat machines up there. And also, if you've noticed, we haven't, you know, you can't hear anything. It's like it's silent when it heats up. It's like,
yeah,
it's pretty good.
It's a super silent machine, and I think also in terms of heat up time, the longest what needs to be heat up time is actually the portafilter.
Yeah.
But here also with twice flushing hot water through the portafilter, you have it also ready. So like I'm always saying, like with plus minus 120 seconds, you can pull your shot or make a cappuccino.
Wow. So now it looks like the machine is ready to brew, but why don't we actually just pull a shot on this, and then we can talk a little bit more about the secret sauce that's inside here and go through a lot of the, just in my opinion, really cool features of the Unica Pro.
Yeah, let's do it.
We got a puck prepped. Now let's actually pull a shot. So
yes,
go ahead
let's
and do
it. So this is actually an blooming profile which we have here, and what you will see is the pre-infusion will start with 3.5 milliliter per second until it reaches a certain pressure. We see then pressure release, and then we starting extracting flow profiling wise the espresso.
completely silent. As you see, we're just sitting here, and it's like you don't even hear like a rotary pump or vibration pumps moving. Like it's like a wow. I can't even. So you do hear that after, but it's like during the shot when it's pulling, it's quiet.
Yeah, that is really a special feature of our displacement pump. So
we'll talk a bit more about the pump and everything here. So we just pulled a shot there, and we see a screen that says grind analysis. Okay, so we got my beautiful shot of espresso.
Yeah, as you already said, after each shot, the user gets indicated with the grind science analysis. So it will tell you based on your recipe settings if the grind size was optimal set or to coarse or to fine, and will tell you, like, give you a little bit more feedback in terms of like how to set this shot. In terms of what is quite interesting, I think, to know is that this recipe got created by a specialty coffee roaster in Switzerland called Muyu Coffee Roasters. I have here Finca Isabel Geisha Pea Berry from Bolivia, so a very rare espresso coffee. It got created, this recipe, from Muyu Coffee Roasters, and they sent us the coffee over with this recipe, and we just uploaded the recipe, needed just to follow the grind size analysis, and you receive the shot as the roaster was developing it.
Yeah, like that is super cool. Is roasters can create recipes for their coffees, send it out there, and like we're here in the USA, Muyu is in Switzerland.
Yes.
And they made a recipe, they sent it over to us, and we're now able to pull the coffee in the exact same way that they want, because they also have a machine. We have a machine here, it's synced up, we follow the grind size. We still have to dial in our grind to make sure that we're in the optimal range, but once we're there, we're getting a pretty good, close representation of how they wanted their coffee to taste. And I think that's super cool. I believe this is one of the very first few times of an espresso manufacturer actually really tapping into data logging, data sharing, and
yeah, like the Unica Pro is, besides being in every aspect very precise and accurate, it's a real data logger. So every sensor value will be read and logged 50 times per second. And imagine you are a roaster out there, you can create your own recipes, and if you have then even 3 or 4 coffee shops, you can send out this recipe with your coffee to your coffee shops, and you know that the consistency is there.
Yeah, and you can even read that data, right? Like that data will eventually be able to get exported and synced up somewhere, and then you'll be able to even like analyze, like, hey, how are my Unica Pros performing across my multiple shops, and are people pulling good espressos, stuff like that. And
exactly.
I think that's so cool. It's like we're seeing. I think this is really the next one of the big next steps of espressos. Just like we really need to start tapping into data, and this is like one of the first times that I've seen, I would say, a much more professional application of data logging and data usage. So we pulled the shot here, and what can you do now?
I mean, you could go and look at your recent shot. So like that's the profile. You can again have a look at it. You can also go into the settings of history, and there you can look up visually your last 50 shots. But like you also could download all of your data via USB stick, LAN or Wi-Fi, and do the thorough data analysis.
Wow. Okay, so we're gonna cut closer to the machine now, because there are just so many things we can go over, especially during post-shot analysis, as well as actually setting up profiles for the next kind of any sort of shots you want to use. We'll cut close and look at this, and then we will sit back down again, and then we can chat some more about the Unica Pro. So here we go. We pulled the shot. we had the grind size analysis, and now we're looking at exactly how the profile of the espresso pulled. So we have like the full data readout here. So
yeah, what you see here is actually the blue line is the flow rate, and the green background is the pressure during. So like you see nicely after the pre-infusion is done, it started then flow profiling, extraction, the pressure goes up again, and through extracting the solids, the resistance in the coffee pocket goes down, and also with that the pressure down. You see the straight line of this flow profiling, that is really that precise in terms of displacing the volume.
Okay, so let's take a little bit of a closer look at the Unica Pro. So we're standing up, we got the machine here. First of all, as you have seen, the size of the machine it's pretty small for what it can do, but I want to emphasize post-shot analysis. Like, we pulled a shot, what can you actually do with this data? And then we can talk a bit about, like, how is this even done? Like what are the mechanics in here? And we will take the machine apart as well and showcase the inside, but cool. So we pulled a shot.
Yeah, and as I mentioned before, we have a very precise pump, and we can show you this a little bit later. But like, why are we so precise and accurate? It's a displacement pump, and it is a stepper motor driven pump. And with each step of the motor, you displace a volume of 0.001 milliliter. That's very little. And like in terms of ounces, that's 3.4 times 10 to the power of -5 ounces. It's really, really little. The Unica Pro has also a built-in laser sensor which detects the portafilter. So like if I remove now the portafilter, so it will detect that I removed it, and it will actually start.
So it'll auto flush like that. So you got that auto flush, so maybe if you're serving a pop-up and everything, and you have like a bunch of, you're like doing farmer's market or a pop-up, like you just don't have to keep flushing yourself. The machine will just do it for you. That's super convenient. And then, like, what else can we do? This UI is quite interesting as well. Like there are a lot of features in this.
Yes, I mean you can create up to 24 recipes and manage them also on the display. Like starting from the hot water, when you press the hot water, you have here pre-dialed in 4 different hot water temperatures, and right now 40 degrees Celsius with 30 ml, 100 degrees Celsius with 50 ml, and 80 degrees Celsius with 300 ml. So like think of, if you want to create your green tea 80 degrees, 300 ml, you create it here right away, and you could get consistent 300 ml in your cup with 80 degrees Celsius. But also if you are a mother and you have a baby with formula, and you want to have the formula drink directly drinkable, you set it to something like 40 degrees Celsius in the amount of water you want.
You're able to drop and increase temperature incredibly fast because of the low thermal mass of this as well, right?
Exactly. That's exactly the point. So this novel heating concept consists out of a thick film layer heater, 1800 watt module on the top. This brings your water temperature for the extraction of coffee to the set temperature plus minus 2 degrees of the set temperature. And then you have 4 individual heating zones in the brewing group, which brings then your temperature down to plus minus 0.5 degrees Celsius accurate. For the hot water, it will be just heated through the thick film layer. That's good enough. But for the water extraction, you want to have much more higher temperature accuracy. So let's maybe take a cup. So let's talk a little bit about low thermal mass. So I put in a cup under the brewing group. I have here 3 different recipes defined. One recipe with, I think, 91 degrees Celsius, 92 and 93. So with a low thermal mass brewing group, so you can jump from temperature to temperature with just flushing of 20 ml of waters. So currently the brewing group is set to the last recipe temperature, which was 92 degrees, the blooming. But if I go now back to 91 degree, I flush quickly my 20 ml. I'm going back, and you see you have your brewing group at 90 degrees Celsius. If I go now to a recipe where I have it preset to 93 degrees Celsius, I go quickly to flushing, and I go back and have 93 degrees Celsius.
That's cool. It's fast, and the other thing too is like, I have the microphone here. You probably could barely hear some of that. Like, if you want to drop temperature and play around with those types of profiles or increase temperature, it is totally possible here because of that lower thermal mass. And I think this is something that, again, is like, you don't see this in many machines. Like, people really tapping into adjusting temperature in such a fluid way, like such a fast way. You know, most machines say it's like, oh, we want to only make sure the temperature, it's like a huge heat sink, just give me temperature. But it's like, I think there are a lot more interesting things on the taste side, at least for espresso, that can be achieved with having a lower thermal mass. And you know, how does that actually impact energy efficiency? You know, I think we see a lot of machines nowadays who are so focused on like, let's dump a ton of heat into something and make sure it's stable. Like, what is the advantage of going with like the low thermal mass approach that you guys have gone with?
I mean, the low thermal mass has definitely a huge impact of the energy efficiency. So like the on-demand heating of the thick film layer plus the low thermal mass of the brewing group is the key to energy efficiency. So we also developed firmware-wise a whole energy management system. So like it really redirects the precision and the energy to the places where it really needs. So and if you have this kind of cool concept, you get really energy efficient. And when we talk about energy efficiency, the Unica Pro is 20 times more energy efficient than a commercial single group dual boiler system from leading companies.
Right.
We're talking here about 70 kilowatt per year versus, for the Unica Pro, versus the 1,500 kilowatt hours per year of those dual boiler systems.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, even in the home, like I have a dual boiler at home right now, and like it's not going to heat up as fast as this. It's like, in order for me to make sure that it's running, you know, I basically have to make sure that machine's running all the time for me to get the thermal efficiency that I want, and for it to just be ready to pull shots. So this is just super cool to be tapping into that on-demand heating, where you can start basically only drawing electricity when you actually need to be.
Absolutely.
And I think that's really amazing, especially for things like the brew head and that low, and combined with that low thermal mass, you get that flexibility of how you want to pull shots as well. With it's like you don't have to wait for your group head to like fully be heated up like you see in many more traditional group head designed machines. So now let's go over some other cool stuff. There's a lot of focus also on accuracy of this machine. You know, we hear you guys do a really great energy management, but also accuracy. What do you mean by that? Like,
I mean, like an accuracy in everything from volume displacement to temperature, everything like this. So like we're using really high and very precise sensors and focusing really like there that we are ultra precise. In terms of displacement pump, and maybe to showcase you this, we go into like yeah, the water heating dispensing. Let's put a glass underneath and tare it. Perfect. It's tared to zero. And now I'm using the 100 degrees Celsius 50 ml. And you see on the display that the progress of the volume dispensing, and yeah, at the end you should see 50 ml plus minus the last drops, and yeah, that is now 94.5 milliliters. Like, pretty cool.
Yeah, so you know, we tell the machine to do 50, we get like...
Yeah, the last drop you pretty much cannot control, and it also depends on how much air you have in the line or something.
Yeah, so 49, like 1 gram, 1 mil off, like what, like that's pretty good.
And if you repeat it, I would say a second time,
yeah, it should be,
you would even be closer.
Yeah. So tell the machine to do 50. God, it's so quiet. That's crazy. 49.8 mils. Wow, that's very accurate. Like,
yeah.
Wow. That's the just the water dispenser, the outlet here. That's super cool. We got the accuracy from the pump there, but we also have a steam boiler. This is something that I think needed to be done. I'm like, there finally is a machine that is tapping into on-demand heating, instant heating, and there's actually a steam boiler. So this is something that I've actually been quite impressed with, is actually the steam performance. I'm no world latte artist or anything like that, but take a look at this. It's just really cool to be able to have steam like this. Wow. And it's cool touch, insulated. Yeah. Wow, you guys got steam on this too.
Yes, and that was actually very important to us. We wanted to be able to steam and extract at the same time. Some specifications to the steam boiler. So it's a 0.5 liter stainless steel boiler, which you can heat up to 135 degrees Celsius, which ends up into a steam of 3 bars. That is pretty powerful. And yeah, it also has a steam timer function. Right now in this, we set it up for continuous steam power if we go with the knob down. And now we're setting it up like this steam auto timer for 5 seconds. And if you go up, after 5 seconds, it stops.
There's so much steam from this machine. Like that is, wow.
And it stops automatically.
Yeah.
So you can set up a predefined amount of milk in your mug and then steam it. You just touch the steam wand a little bit on the milk and you get perfect milk froth. So for your cappuccino.
Yeah, and you can fully adjust that steam temperature too, right? Like all of that is all adjustable.
It's all adjustable.
Very cool.
We even have, since this espresso machine is so energy efficient, we don't really create a lot of waste heat to heat the cup tray. So we needed to include a cup tray heater underneath, which you actually can set up to the temperature you want, from 40 to 70 degrees.
Yeah. Wow.
Here in this case, it's right now off. I don't need it in my home setting.
Yeah. Just to add a note on that steam, so you're able to pull a shot and steam at the exact same time. So if you're running a pop-up, even at home, like you want some efficiency, you can basically have your profile set up for the espresso and just have that all fully dialed in, and you can steam, and it's quiet, it's quick. There are a lot of things about espresso machines that I think now, at least for me, that I'm focusing a bit more on, which is actually a lot like audible things, like how do machines sound, how do they feel to use, and I really enjoy the fact that it's just completely silent when it's pulling shot, and the steam is really, really fast. I just really like the fact that I can get both at the same time. kind of really increases efficiency, especially if you're running events or you're doing things like farmers markets, and even in your home setting, you know, maybe you got to bang out a ton of lattes or cappuccinos for your family. You can have this set up to steam, and the steam power is crazy. This is so much more than you would expect out of a machine of this size.
The Unica Pro is a really great machine for the mobile use. So like any portable coffee shops or mobile coffee shops can use a fixed water connection. The pump is actually able to aspirate the water directly from a canister or something. So like you don't need any pressure on it. So like, and it does is up to 5 meters. So like you can have your like water 5 meters away and the pump will pull it into the machine.
Wow. Okay, well, let's open this guy up and take a look inside.
Yes, perfect.
Here we go. So some other things to go over is I look at the drip tray and everything.
Yes.
Water. Yeah.
So yeah, the machine is off and you take off the drip tray. What you can see here, it's magnetically held in place, and from the front you also take off the stainless steel water tank. It has a volume of 1.8 liter and it has also the lid here. So you can take the lid off, like it prevents also like water for splashing over. And yeah, so like in terms of serviceability, we tried to take everything off from the front, since you don't want to grab in the back and so on, or filling water over the machine in. So like that's not what we wanted to.
Yeah, and then on the inside there's like a little sensor or the capacitance sensor.
Exactly.
There.
So like we have in the inside a little mechanism. So like if you push the water tank in, the nozzle goes into the water, and through a capacity sensor, we are able to detect the water level of the machine, of the tank.
Yeah.
And what is also good, the Unica Pro let you always do your last shot, and you will never see you running out of water during a shot.
Yeah, okay, that's great to hear. Okay, let's take this apart and show off the insides.
Yes.
Okay, well, we have disassembled the Unica Pro. Quite straightforward to actually disassemble. So what are we looking at here? This is super unique. This part of the machine is incredibly unique, and then we have a bunch of other stuff. So.
Yes. I mean, like, I think in general, so like we have a modular approach. So like whatever you see, we have pump unit here, we have all the heating unit here, and we have here the steam boiler, and here on the side the power supply. And yeah, quite unique is definitely our pump. Here you see the stepper motor, which drives over the belt, and lead screw, which then I would say displaces then the volume, and that's pretty much the pump. Here you see also the thick film layer, which brings the temperature to a certain temperature, and from there it goes then into the brewing group. The brewing group here is a little bit hidden, but in general what you see here is all commercial grade valves, and you see something I would say very unique. We don't use any copper and so on, so what you see here is stainless steel and commercial grade parts and Teflon hoses, so like something which get used in, I would say, a very modern automatic coffee machines. And some other high-tech components or materials like peak on the steam wands, a peak tip so that it never gets really warm and you can remove easily your milk. residues, and also our brewing group is very thermally insulated and uses also PEEK for isolating it, and yeah.
This is super cool. One question that I do have though is, why is this tilted? Or the design. You got the wood legs, and it's kind of tilted.
Yeah. No, I mean that it's really just a design purpose. At one point, we needed to decide for a certain design, and we thought it would be nice and gives the machine a little bit more character if we work with wood, and it doesn't look as every other espresso machine, and giving also a little bit a tilted look.
Yeah.
So from far it looks like that maybe even the cups will fall off your machine or something, but no, we are leveled every surface you put, I would say, a cup on or something. So it's just the look from the outside.
Yeah. There's also the cup heater, which plugs in over here. It's just a heating pad basically to keep the cups warm.
Exactly. So like this is, I mean, we needed to put a heating foil on the surface for the cup tray, since this machine is so energy efficient that we don't have enough waste heat to create, I would say, to heat the cups in a proper way.
This is a good problem to have, I guess.
Yes.
So let's put the machine back together and chat a little bit more about Unica and talk a bit about, when can we buy these, right? So we'll put the machine back and we'll sit back down and chat a little bit more.
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, so we made some coffee on the Unica Pro. We took it apart. We showed off a bunch of stuff. How did this project and this machine actually begin? Like, what's the background of the company?
I mean, we simply wanted to develop for us an optimal espresso machine, since we were not convinced about the current available espresso machines on the market. Marco, Christian, and I, we develop full-time high-tech medical devices, and we put our long year of experience in product development, fluid and thermodynamic into the Unica Pro.
Yeah, it's like so cool to see just your guys' background and the expertise that you guys all have coming together and bringing us an espresso machine that, in my opinion, really a lot of us haven't seen before. Like a lot of the approach, the precision, and solving a lot of big pain points that consumers have, with also a huge focus on accuracy, data, and even energy efficiency. So it really checks a lot of boxes, and I think this is just something you guys should just be very proud of. And now I think what we'd like to talk about is, currently this machine does exist in Europe, but we're in the United States. So what kind of is the next plan or next steps for the company?
Yeah, correct. So as I mentioned, we launched last year in Europe, and we are working with selected resellers together. And it's currently available in Switzerland, Germany, and Austria. In the next couple of months, we will expand also into other countries within the European Union, since we have the CE mark. But in parallel, we are already working on a US safety certification, which allow us to enter the US market, and we have the goal to already ship the first orders something next year. The price point in Europe currently is 7,600 euros.
Okay.
And we most in the same range, I would say, translated into the US dollar will be something
similar.
Yes.
Yeah. So more premium if you're using it for home. Very premium machine for the home, and definitely checks all the boxes for machines that's similarly priced for coffee shops, small coffee shops, pop-ups, all of that. But I think this is current landscape of things. This is a very, very compelling choice to pick, especially if you're looking for mobile usage. And honestly, even for you guys who are using this for home, this has a lot of very, very nice features for home usage, and I think this is something that we will look out for. Like I want one of these machines, so I'm really hoping you guys come out with the USA models soon. But it's quite amazing to see the progress of this machine so far. Like what we have here is just it's like a 110 volt. Prototype, or you would say, or?
So yeah, like one of our first prototypes we took, so like you see that's a prototype, and it already looks like plus minus 95% of the prototype is the same as our series model. We just made right now some modifications for the 110 volt, and these are also the machines we are using for the safety certification.
So I'm really curious to hear your guys' thoughts on this. For those of you who are in the EU who have this machine already, would love to hear you guys chime in here and there and write in the comments. But we're gonna make more videos with Markus. I mean, he's local to me, so I drove over to his place. We're filming a video here, but I just love to see companies putting out products like this, and I think this is awesome. So really curious to hear your guys' thoughts on this. We're gonna make some more videos with Markus going down the line, so definitely feel free to leave any questions you guys have, anything you want. We'll come back and we'll talk about things. But I wanted to put this out there. We'll check in on the progress as time goes on. But yeah, is there anything else you wanna add? Like,
I think the community should know that that we are currently also working on an app which can connect with the Unica Pro, and that we work also on our own grinder. So I think this will round up the whole product concept very well, and I think the user will like to work with it.
Yeah, like what's interesting to me is that this is a company that's coming out here and saying, look, we want to provide you the data, but also work with these roasters, work with people who will also have Unica Pros, and be like, these are the profiles that they create. This is all done by the company. Like, this isn't a community-led effort. This is, we need to put together a database and build everything together and share profiles. Like, no, this is coming from the manufacturer, and I think that is quite unique. And it's something that we're going to see going forward. And I just really, really like that there's just a lot of boundaries being pushed with this machine, and I think it'll be just super cool to see, and I'm very excited for you guys, and I want this to come out soon in the US. We want to buy. I want to buy one.
Yeah, it's really impressive, and like, since everything it's so accurate and precise in terms of heat, volume, displacement, and so on, you really can share recipes from instrument to instrument on the Unica Pro, and it is in the US here in San Francisco versus in Switzerland in Cree. If you have the same beans, if you have a shared recipe, you get the same result if you follow the same grind size. That's incredible.
Yeah, that's gonna be super awesome. Like, I just love that someone's trying to bring consistency to people's experience across the world, and I'm very excited to see where the Unica Pro goes, as well as you guys, Unica the company, like, got new products coming out soon, and this is the stuff that gets me super excited, and I hope this gets you guys excited as well. But please leave any sort of questions you have in the comments. We will be making a follow-up video with Markus, and we definitely want to see your guys' thoughts on this machine, and I just think it's going to be cool to kind of follow along and see where this all goes. But I want to thank you guys for spending the time to watch this video, and I also want to thank Markus for having us over and filming with us, and answering all these questions and showing off the Unica Pro. So thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you for coming by.
All right, see you guys later.
Bye.